It's the Joe Padula Show, Clarksville's conversation.
Absolutely, because we do got a lot to go over there. Because finally, President Joe Biden held a press conference after 64 days in office. But looked like a T-ball game with set-up questions for the lefty reporters. Didn't even go to any of the news outlets that disagree with him or would ask some interesting questions. Now, is this how the next 4 years going to be? Well, we got political analyst Dennis J. Potvin. He'll explain it all now on the Joe Padula Show. Absolutely. Hey, make sure to subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Click that like. Click those likes. You know, just do it with your thumb. Make it feel good. This is where my mom leaves.
Yeah. Don't do angry reacts, though.
No, you could do those.
No, don't. I
No?
just read a whole article that if you do that, it actually pushes the page down further.
Really?
Yeah, so no angry reacts.
Oh, yeah. Stop doing that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Do
I hate
sad
you.
faces.
I hate you if you do that.
Yeah.
But definitely help us out with the shadow ban and share this video now. Click that share button, timeline or groups. We definitely do appreciate it. All right, here we go. Dennis J. Potvin. There he is. All right. So, what about this? An hour and 20 minutes of Joe Biden. I watched and listened to it all while I show prepped. Your thoughts?
It was very inspiring. You know, when I watched that, I'm thinking Kennedy, Roosevelt, Reagan. Inspiration.
Here, I got a video clip. Let's take a look. Let's see what we got here. There it is. Oh, my bad. No intern Shane again.
Fresh out of the news conference, Peter, we mentioned that he took questions from 10 people, you and Fox News not among them.
Yeah. So he only took it from
Friendlies.
Friendlies, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's right, and I mentioned last night on Special Report that I had a binder full of questions. I think some people were kidding. I was not kidding. We had a lot, and most of this stuff did not get
Hey.
to. For example, nobody ever asked him about this big plan that he's got, this big
I like this guy, Ducey.
He's gotten better.
Yeah.
idea to completely transform the economy, to make it all
Poor guy's
green.
name
That
is
was something that
Ducey.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, poor guy.
Why?
I
Right away.
understand. You know, you come from a long
Peter.
line of Duceys. But
Yeah.
Peter
It
Ducey.
is hard to change your last name.
Why?
It's
Is
an insult to your family if you change your
Does
last
Ducey
name.
mean something?
Like dropping a deuce.
Ducey?
Yeah, his nickname is
Oh.
Deuce.
And it just rhymes with so much stuff like Goosey Deucey or, you know.
Juicy.
Juicy Deucey. You know, it's just a funny sounding word.
Drop a
And
Ducey.
bless his heart, he looks like a Ken doll before the spray tan.
I'm sorry. I'm giving this guy a hard time. I'm sure you had a hard time all his life.
Right.
I
I mean,
shouldn't bring
his
it
hair
up.
looks good though.
He
Yeah.
does
His hair
have good
does
hair.
look good.
And in this
And his
picture,
hair
he's got
was
a
perfect.
he's got a purty mouth.
Yeah,
That tie, though.
it's a good still there.
Ducey needs a
we're
makeover.
hoping to get on the board with. And there really were not a lot of questions about COVID, particularly the investigation.
Yeah, COVID's over, huh?
Yep.
Right, COVID's over.
Right.
We won.
We won. We did
Mission
it.
accomplished.
Right.
Yeah.
Move on.
Because Dennis, it wasn't even brought up that much. It was brought up in the beginning. Well, from what I recollect, he was asked about why you're neglecting these things or stuff about the border.
Yeah.
Which I think he was pressed the hardest on out of anything.
Yes.
Was the border. And he was just saying that he has been busy
Very busy.
just
Very busy.
focusing on COVID.
Yes.
But that was the only part I heard about COVID.
Yeah, in fact, he was too busy to answer that question on gun control either. Remember, he somehow took a question on gun control, went to infrastructure, and stayed there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But, yeah, what we saw today was, other than the 10 friendly reporters who got to ask questions, we all know, even people who did support certain Democratic candidates, we all know Biden was a vessel of the Democratic Party to win the game. That was it. We all know who they wanted. They want to install Kamala. That's going to happen probably before the midterms or right after. But what bothers me is someone who did not vote for Joe Biden. What bothers me is how he can stand there and say, you know, we had 100 million vaccines delivered after my 58th day in office, and we did such a great job with that we're going to do 200 million by my 100th day in office.
All right.
With no acknowledgement whatsoever about the previous administration's warp speed policy that delivered that vaccine to you so that you could be rolling out 100 million vaccines on day one. Just not even now. He took plenty of chances to take shots at Trump. And at one point he even said, God, I miss him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he I wish I had that clip ready, but yeah.
Yeah, the media misses him too.
Yeah.
Just for based on their ratings. But Yeah, he had no problem taking complete credit for 100 million vaccines in 58 days. So much so that he said, hey, we're going to double that by my 100th day. You know, that's like me getting into the game after Joe Padula, the quarterback, drove us 99 yards down the field.
Yeah.
And I punched the ball in on the 1 yard line, and I say, hey, didn't I carry the team? Huh? Touchdown.
Well, how many times do you know if he was referenced Trump and the previous administration?
Yeah, it happened a lot, and always in a negative way.
Yeah.
This was actually a chance to say something positive, because remember, he's campaigning on being the great uniter.
Yeah.
So you got 75 million people who voted for the other guy, not the other Biden, the other guy, Trump. And so you'd think you'd want to unite them by saying, hey, I'll give the Trump administration credit. The warp speed worked. We were able to get a lot of vaccines. In fact, I got vaccinated before I even took office. And so now, right on day one, we were able to complete that goal, and now we're even going to double it.
And you're right, because towards the end, he was like, I got 3 things that I want to do. And he kind of forgot one. But then, one of them was, I'm here to unite.
Restore the soul.
Right. And unite this nation. And then, just 5 minutes before that, even less, he was talking to the reporter and saying, he asked her, do you even think there's going to be a Republican Party in the next election?
Right.
Well, how is that uniting?
Right. And if Peter Ducey had a chance to talk, he'd have said, not if you keep letting 9,000 immigrants a day into the country. No, probably not.
Let's see what else Peter Ducey had to say. Ducey, Lawyer Wayne. Shame on you, man.
Into the origins of it. That is obviously something that he spends a lot of time focusing on ways to move away from, but there is very little looking back at the origins of COVID. So we did not get on the board with that. Nobody else asked about that. And to Chris's observation, I can add to it that in the room there were some aides, including Kate Bedingfield.
He's got AIDS?
Wow, there was some AIDS in there.
Oh, they better wear their masks.
Yeah, don't go back to that crisis.
There's AIDS in there.
The communications director, and Jen Psaki,
That's right. There's AIDS everywhere in there. Bill, get out of here.
press secretary. They were monitoring what he was saying. Looked like they were checking their phones to get the instant reaction. But while he was up there, he was pretty much on his own. Usually at the last few of these, and the last one that I can think of like this would have been in Wilmington, they had an aide off to the side with the list of reporters to call on. Today it was Biden with the list. And once they got through about an hour and 20 minutes, he was done. I'm not sure if that was the end of the list. If we were on it, he did not make it down that far. Back to you.
Peter, I said bingo because there was talk about not enough jobs for the American people, still struggling economic environment in this country, but not a lot of detail, not a lot of specific answers as to how he plans.
She's got a pearl necklace. Did you notice?
Yeah, well, his hair makes me feel like I'm watching There's Something About Mary.
Oh, yeah? Yeah? The hair gel?
Yeah, whatever. That's
grabs it right off the ear.
pomade. I don't know.
See, I felt that we did get answers from Joe.
Okay. What do you think the answers that we did get?
So he's not going to end the filibuster. Caitlin Collins tried to pin him in the corner and say, your old boss, President Obama, said it was a relic of the Jim Crow era.
Yeah.
And he said, yes, it is. So are you going to end it? No. I kind of like it.
I'm also a relic of the Jim Crow era. No, it's not all bad.
We have a comment from Eric Torres.
What's up, Eric? How you doing?
He should blame his gaffes on vaccine side effects.
That's not a bad idea.
Why'd you trip, Biden? It's the vaccine.
The Trump vaccine. He got him.
Trump vaccine.
Yeah, that's right.
So basically, here's what he told me as a voter. He told me that they've done a fantastic job. They're going to get 200 million vaccines out. That despite what Obama said, he's not going to end the filibuster, which means nothing's going to get done because they're not going to get 60 votes on anything, especially not infrastructure. He said they're not pulling out of Afghanistan. They said, are you going to honor the Trump administration's May 1st deadline? No, we're not going to do that. North Korea, yes, North Korea is our second biggest foe right after Russia. That's basically what he said about that.
He brought up China, too. He said we are we are not. We referred to him as competitors, not. What was the phrase? Do you remember?
Well, he told a long story about how he knew
every
she
story
when he was the vice
so
president.
long.
Right. They'd ask him a specific question. The worst one was the question about gun control. Now with these shootings in Atlanta and Colorado, are you going to think about stricter gun control laws? And he said, well, we have a lot of things on our plate.
Yeah.
One of them is infrastructure. And let me tell you all about that.
That's
and he
right.
spent 10 minutes talking about infrastructure.
That's a great
never
politician
answered.
answer.
That's what
Never
it is.
answered the question about gun control.
Hell of a segue.
So basically, when he campaigned, he said nothing will fundamentally change.
Right.
And I think after this press conference, we can say that. Nothing's going to change at the border. He's got way too much compassion, even though not one but two reporters said, you realize these kids are coming here because they think you're a nice guy, because we asked them and they told us. In fact, we called their mothers. Their mother said, we sent the kids because of you.
He kept saying how he was a nice guy. More like because, well, he brought up that Donald Trump was putting the kids in cages.
Yeah.
Okay? And he said that's Donald Trump's policy when that was originally an Obama policy. Notice that never came out of his mouth.
Yeah. He said because of Trump, they're sitting on the edge of the Rio Grande starving.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to allow that.
Okay.
But he's not answering how he's going to solve this problem. He basically just said, hey, I'm nice. I'm not going to let kids starve. So if that means they come in, I guess we call grandma or mom or auntie, and we let them in. So basically he told me nothing's going to fundamentally change. The filibuster's not going away. Afghanistan war is never going to end. Exactly what he campaigned on.
Right. Unreal. Well, I'll tell you what. We do got to move forward here, but Dennis Potvin, one thing you really hated, one thing you really liked about Joe Biden's first press conference in his first 64 days as president.
What I really loved was in his invention of the phrase the Jim Eagle era.
Okay, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I
How
thought
was that brought
he
up?
said that's not just Jim. He was talking about Georgia, the state legislature pushing voting laws.
Yeah.
They're going to make it harder to vote because of the suspicion of voter fraud in this past election. So, of course, he's on the side of Pelosi's H.R. 1, which lets 16-year-olds vote, which 100% mail-in ballots, which means everybody in this room is going to get a mail-in ballot.
But COVID's over. That's why you didn't talk about it.
Doesn't matter. That's H.R. 1. That's the side he's on. So the Georgia legislature is saying, no, not here. You're not doing that.
Right.
So they're trying to preemptively create their own legislation.
And that's why they want to get rid of the filibuster, so they can just do all these laws.
And so he said, hey, that's Jim Eagle.
Yeah,
that's
not Jim Crow.
So,
Which, by the way, Jim Crow implemented by the Democratic Party back in the day, just to let you know. Just saying. Nobody wants to talk about that one.
And what I really hate about this is I think the 25th Amendment will be invoked here in the next 2 years. And, we've had VPs that had to take over before.
What is the 25th Amendment?
That if the cabinet believes that the president cannot perform his or her job, they can replace them with the vice president.
Yeah, this guy was he was slow. He was stuttering. He forgot at least twice where he forgot where he was and just rambled. But Dennis, I do appreciate your insight on the politics, especially you being a Tulsi Gabbard Democrat supporter, and you tell it like it is.
Maybe a Tulsi Gabbard Republican supporter.
Oh,
soon.
2024.
Can't believe we're not flagged yet.
All right. Hey, Christopher Russo checking in, leaving some comments. Eric Torres, thank you, brother. Appreciate you guys. We'll get to those in just a moment, but let's move forward. Oh, don't forget to follow Dennis on Instagram as well. He's got some good stuff he posts. I like the ones that you post of Tulsi.
Yeah,
she's hot.
There's some good pictures there.
She's hot.
Tulsi Padula.
She's married. Is that a relationship on the rocks? Or
I don't think it is.
No,
I don't think it is.
I mean, you would think.
A couple of years ago, you might have had a shot, but I don't
Really?
Yeah, not now.
I'll find out what happened. The dirt.
It's the Joe Padula Show. Bada bing. Clarksville's conversation.